in the 6th round
right.
PTQ, though.
And here we go. Michael Dye, green, white, splashing red Wolf Run. David Palmer, Junk Walkers.
This should be a fun matchup here.
Very good matchup.
Both players just happy to be here, laughing, chatting with each other. Only one will get to hoist the trophy, though.
Get his picture.
Yeah.
On the front page of StarCityGames.com.
The winner's interview.
Yeah.
Stay tuned after this match for the winner's interview. Oh, yeah, that was the entire point of what I was saying. how this is going to work. We'll replay the quarters, semis, and finals. Follow it up with round 3 of Legacy. That's when we'll join you again for the live broadcast. From round 3 of Legacy all the way to the finals. And
yeah.
I can't wait for Legacy.
Legacy is a fun format.
Legacy is my favorite format.
Anything you're excited to see?
Correctly cast brainstorms. I would love to see some of those.
That's turn 1 of the play, right?
Right.
That's the correct brainstorm.
And yeah. Just to get it out of the way right now, we will mention AJ Soccer's article at least 3 times. So get your complaints in now about that.
Assuming people actually play brainstorm, maybe this is the week where there is nothing but burn, nothing but green, white. Who knows?
Yeah. The Star City Games booth is sold out of Flame Rift, Price of Progress, Chain Lightning, Rift Bolt, Sulfuric Vortex, Pyrostatic Pillar. Just the list goes on and on. I was talking with Westwise, one of the buyers, a little earlier, and yeah, almost every red staple is sold out.
Wow.
So we're going to see a lot of burn tomorrow.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it was 15% of the field in Tampa. We'll see if it's even more this week.
So is burn really the new Merfolk?
I think it is. It's just so cheap to build.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, Merfolk was the big deck at all these opens when that was one of the better decks. And, it was, at the time, fairly cheap. Over time, it became more and more as Wasteland and Forceful went up. And even some of the, the staple cards, Lord of Atlantis was a couple bucks.
Yep.
Despite being printed in every set before 2008.
Literally every set.
Even Tempest. Every expansion just had a Lord of Atlantis, and it was crazy.
Every booster pack.
Every booster pack, yeah. It was like a land now. You just got a Lord of Atlantis, and it was still, got worth a few bucks. But Merfolk has taken a turn down, and it looks like Burn is the new deck that people have gravitated to as being kind of the budget legacy option.
Exactly. That's how you get into Legacy when you're a new player. You buy up your Flame Rifts. You rift some people out.
You get a cheaper deck, and Flame Rift, of course, the Price Progress, both go around Leyline of Sanctity.
Yep.
Just in case.
Another card that's been selling really well this weekend, West said that they've sold 32 copies of Leyline. They have 2 play sets left in stock right now.
So if you are playing in the Star City Games Legacy Open today and you need Leylines, get them now.
Yeah. It's a hard card to find when every single person wants them.
So Worship is the card, I guess, that you want to be playing.
Oh boy, I like that idea. Worship Troll Ascetic with a hard lock.
Yeah, heck, Worship Mother Runes is pretty good too.
Oh yeah, takes 2 spells to kill any one creature.
Yeah.
At that point.
David Palmer, Michael Dye shuffling up.
Their decks are very randomized. They are randomization masters here.
If there's more random than random, it is their decks.
Yep. David
they
Palmer.
Cannot curse the Moto Shuffle on this one.
They will only have themselves to blame. So I'm not sure who won the die roll. It looks like they're they're doing it right now. That doesn't look like a very high number.
Die roll live on air. That's 5 versus, I didn't see what the other one was. Those dots just a little too small.
Yeah, not sure. We'll find out soon enough, but like we don't think it'll matter too much in this matchup.
Yeah, this is not the super important one.
It was a hard 4, I suppose. Hard 4 versus a 5.
All right. 2 players chatting it up, having a friendly match.
It looks like Michael Dye on the play.
Keeping his hand. David, not so much, though.
Nope, David Palmer needs a better 7 than that.
I think he can come back from Mulligan on this one. I don't think the match is going to end too quickly.
No, I don't think so either. I think It's all about the long game here, and the longer the game goes, the less that mulligan matters. There's so many ways for David Palmer to recoup that card.
Though I think that, again, because I think Michael Dye is slightly advantaged. I think this mulligan, it's relevant. I think it's very relevant. Michael Dye probably mulligans a little bit better in this matchup, just because of Primeval Titan.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting so many cards, you just get so many cards out of that whenever you cast it.
Also, you have to consider, too, that Michael Dye's mana is a lot better than David Palmer's.
That's true. It is much better.
David Palmer has made his mana work, but that doesn't mean it works well the time.
His mana has worked for 12 rounds.
Yeah, it has.
Will it work for 13 rounds?
David Palmer has yet to get a loss in this tournament.
It's true.
He was either X02 or X01 in this tournament.
Wow.
1 draw or 2 draw, no losses.
Let's see if this 6 is any better for him.
Yep. Cliff Drop Retreat for Michael.
6 is better, but is it good enough? Another Evolving Wilds, which just immediately gets a land. Now, some people might wait on that, but I think David Palmer's strategy is just get it out now. It's not going to matter. Michael Dye is not going to change his decisions based on what he does, and just speeds the matchup.
Right. I like David Palmer's style there. No nonsense.
Yeah, he's been being honest. And if he wants to play in a Legacy Open, he wants to get as much time to finish a deck together.
Land, fetch, crack. Take 2.
And David Palmer, 2 lands to Michael Dye's 3. Looks like he has nothing else for this turn.
No, Michael Dye, Rampant Growth on his turn, so on the play, with a Rampant Growth, he'll have 4 mana compared to David Palmer's 2.
Players spend as much time shuffling as playing this game.
Yep.
Untaps with 4. Will this be another acceleration spell? Could be a Solemn, or it could be a Thrun.
Well, I do see a Rampant Growth peeking out, so at the worst, it'll be Rampant Growth.
We could be setting up for a turn 4 Titan.
I'm not sure Michael Dye has any more lands in that hand of his.
Wow, that might be awkward.
Yeah, the Rampant Growth will get him to 4, but with his mana-hungry deck, including an Elesh Norn I see in his hand, he'll have to draw some more soon.
Yep. This, I imagine, will get a Plains.
Yeah, and he passes the turn. So David Palmer has to be feeling better about this now.
Yep.
Though still, it looks like he's without a turn 3 play.
Right. That white, green, black does not cast Liliana the Veil.
No, not even close. Might be sitting on a Tezzret's Gambit to end of turn Gambit, draw some more cards. Might be sitting on Go for the Throat, Dismember.
Is Gambit an instant or is it a sorcery?
Oh, it is a sorcery. You're right. I always think that one's an instant.
Be a really good instant.
Yeah, it'd be a better inspiration.
Michael Dye draws a 5th land.
Ooh.
Acidic. Oh, this is humongous.
The 1 Acidic Slime in his deck.
Probably
really good right here.
Well, do you think the forest or the swamp?
I think the swamp. Although the fact that David Palmer fetched the forest with Evolving Wilds,
maybe
I might want to do that one.
Looking at his deck list, he's not going to cast a whole lot next turn regardless, but if he draws a swamp, he does get to cast Liliana the Veil.
I think I would be more afraid of Liliana than Gideon or Elspeth. I think I might take out the swamp here.
Right. Well, I think the Plains is not even in question. I think it's the forest is the other question. Is you take the forest out, which stops really Beast Within, Garrick in a few turns. So yeah, I think they're right. The swamp is the right play.
Yeah, I think so. Isolated Chapel makes that decision look much better. I think we do see a Liliana in David Palmer's hand.
It's like Sorin as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe another Garrick.
2 Sorins.
Oh. Now, of course, Garrick fights, but he does not actually fight. He pseudo-fights, so the Acidic Slime will not kill him.
Right. Death Touch does not affect Planeswalkers. Michael Dye gets in for 2 points, brings David Palmer to 18.
Yeah, I saw he had a Solemn in his hand. Yep, there we go. Solemn gets yet another land.
Jens Thoren.
The sad robot.
Into play for Michael Dye. Original Jens. I like that.
I like the original Jens.
That's classy.
Sorin, Lord of Innistrad, making a token.
The Lord of all Innistrad.
That will, I imagine. Yeah, okay. I was wondering what went down to 2. I was like, ooh.
Interesting. I didn't know Sorin had a -1.
Yeah, how does that happen?
So Soren makes a vampire.
Both of these coming in at Soren, I imagine, and that vampire will block.
Yep.
The question is, does Michael Dye have a Primeval Titan to follow up?
He would love one. Only 3 in the deck.
That's true. That's true. One more land though, and he will be able to Green Sun Zenith for it.
Yeah, you know, that's really interesting deck construction. I think I would rather have 4 Titan, 3 Green Sun.
Green Sun for 2 twice.
Wow.
Looks like we are Strangleroot Geisting all over the town.
That's the plan here.
Every day.
Every day he's Geisting. So that's a really interesting use of Green Sun Zenith to get his 2 Strangleroot Geist into play.
Yep, gives him a little bit of protection against Day of Judgment, though I imagine that David Palmer will block one of these Geists here.
I think so.
You know, and so that means only one, if he happens to have a day, only one will come back, but he'll draw a card off the off that robot, and you know, who knows? Maybe he has, maybe he draws a Titan with that, maybe he draws a Green Sun off that.
Yeah, David Palmer up to 19.
A few cards over. It appears like nothing was revealed.
Michael Dye could have attacked David Palmer with one of his 2/2s, could have gotten in 2 points.
And there comes the day.
It is time.
1 Geist down, 1 Geist remains.
Yep. Michael Dye draws a card. So if
that was another Solemn.
Yeah. Also sitting with an Elish Norn in his hand. And draws one of those Green Suns.
Zenith. But still 1 short of Green Sunning for Titan and 1 short of casting Elish Norn. So it looks like more sad robots.
More robots. The Geist will get in for 3 points of damage, dropping David Palmer to 16.
And David Palmer, he can play a lot here. He can play Soren, make a token. He can. I don't think he has a. Let's see what else he has there. It looks like he's looking at Soren.
Oh, that's
Gideon
a Gideon.
Jura.
That one's pretty good. That'll assassinate
-2.
that Strangleroot.
Now, Michael Dye can just play Elish Norn here.
Yeah, and he will.
And take out that Gideon.
Yeah, David Palmer can't really play around the 1 of Elish Norn. That's I think the only way in Michael Dye's deck to kill that on sight right here.
Yeah, at this point, now that he's played both the Strangleroot Geists, that's it. Barring, Red Sun Zenith.
Right, Red Sun and Karn, but those aren't really in David Palmer's mind right now, nor is Elish Norn.
And here comes,
boom,
the baddie.
The Norn takes, oh no, not 2 on Gideon, 0.
That is 4.
So Michael Dye needs another Day of Judgment right here.
And it doesn't look like it.
No, it's a Woodland Cemetery, it has a Soren. That might be a Liliana peeking out from his hand.
I think it was a Garrick.
Maybe a Garrick.
And none of those does. It's so hard to tell. I just think Garrick and Soren look so much alike.
Yeah, they do. If he can play 2 Planeswalkers in 1 turn. Okay, this is Tezret's Gambit.
This is a Gambit.
So David Palmer to 14 will draw 2. Draw a Swamp and a Go for the Throat.
That's Go for the Throat. Very, very relevant here.
Yeah, that's great right here.
Goodbye, Elish Norn.
Rip out the Norn's throat, and he'll
Hardly
pass
knew
it
you.
back. She did her job.
She did her job. She performed like a champ.
Yep. Michael Dye, though, still sitting with this Green Sun Zenith in hand. The oft-overlooked ability shuffled back into the library. His deck's just getting
when you play Green Sun Zenith, you realize when you play it, you draw a lot of Green Sun Zeniths.
Yeah, you do.
Out comes a Titan. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
There he is.
Once again, putting David Palmer in a situation where he needs a Wrath of God or a Go for the Throat.
Right. And a way to kill the Ink Moth as well.
Yep. Each turn, it's getting harder and harder for David Palmer to draw his way out of this. This, Primeval Titan advantage, it's really pressing on him.
David Palmer's hand right now, Liliana, Soren, land.
He's going to force him to sack that robot. He's going to draw a card.
Yep.
And Soren makes a token.
I think David Palmer might just be dead to trample damage here.
Does he have a Wolf Run? He does have a Wolf Run.
Yeah,
he might be. Well, so he's going to be at 13 virtually. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, that Titan will have 17 power. The Vampire basically negates 2 of it. I think David Palmer's dead. We'll see if Michael Dye goes for it, though.
He's counting. Again, the good kind of math.
Yep, with the fingers.
With the fingers. Finger math is good.
It's the only real way to do it.
I agree. If man was meant to do math in their head, then we would have born with calculators in our brains, not, fingers on our hands.
So Michael Dye takes down game 1, 1-0. Michael Dye, he's one step closer to becoming our standard open champion.
And I think as, we talked about, I felt that Michael Dye, especially game 1, had a big advantage. But, his sideboard is not as good as David Palmer's in this matchup.
No. It's going to get a lot closer for David Palmer after board. And I'm sure David Palmer knows that, too. He knew that game 1 was pretty rough for him. Oh, and it looks like they get access to the deck list again.
So, yep, so they can see how their opponent's going to sideboard.
Exactly.
Life's Finale.
Life's Finale, definitely coming in. That's going to be Windmill Slam.
Can you pull that card up real quickly?
Yeah, Life's Finale.
I think I remember what it does, but, it's one of those cards where I know there were a bunch of Wrath of Gods in that limited format, and this was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
But, make sure it does what I think it does. I believe it... Destroy all creatures, then search target opponent's library for up to 3 creature cards and put them into his or her graveyard. Then the player shuffles his or her library.
6 mana sorcery.
Yep. So we can get rid of the rest of the Titans. Or, if he plays it early enough and their Titan has not happened yet, because David Palmer only has 3 Titans.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Mill
right.
them all. David Palmer, Michael Dye, no way to recover him.
So we have trivia.
Yeah, we do.
One more piece of trivia, and this time it's for a Gen Con badge.
Yeah, this is way, way cool. 4-day Gen Con badge.
Gen Con's going to occur over 4 days, August 16th through 19th, in the city of Indianapolis, Indiana. It's widely known as the best 4 days of gaming, and I was there last year, and it was wonderful.
Gen Con is huge.
Yep,
There's
huge.
way more than Magic to do.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Every year, Gen Con offers a home to an incredible number of gaming companies and TCG events, debuting the newest games and hosting some major tournaments. Last year's crown jewel was U.S. Nationals, and this year it'll be the World Magic Cup.
Yep, that 16-man tournament, of course.
Magic's newest premier team tournament.
Yep.
The Vintage and Legacy Championships also occur every year at Gen Con, offering unique prizes and original art. And if you were this year, I believe it is a Time Twister.
Time Twister. Yeah, we're going through the full Power 9, I believe.
Yep, and I think this is actually a repeat of one card. But what's the remember the Legacy Challenge or Legacy Championship is?
I don't.
Something good. It was something good. It was on Daily MTG recently.
But
anyway, what we're doing is we're going to give away this 4-day Gen Con badge to one lucky person who tweets at us and answers a trivia question with SCG Premium, right?
Yep, you have to use the hashtag SCG Premium. If you don't, not eligible.
You can tweet at me, you can tweet at Zach, but
have to use SCG Premium.
Or you can just tweet it, to yourself, to anybody.
Exactly.
Just put that hashtag on there.
Exactly.
So trivia question. Let's see.
I have one for us.
All right, what do you got?
So the Star City Invitationals, there are going to be 4 this year. 2 have been announced. The first 2 of the year have been announced with the cities, with the dates. What we want to know is, what are the 2 cities that the Star City Invitationals will be visiting?
That is a good question.
Yeah. One's on the East Coast, to give you a little hint. One's in the middle of the country. What are they? Make sure you have both of those. Make sure you use SCG Premium. We'll announce the winner of the 4-day Gen Con badge at the end of this match.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, pretty cool. I've never been to Gen Con.
Really? I actually went for my first time last year. I'm from Columbus, which is where Origins was, so I just went to Origins every year. But last year to Gen Con, and it was a great time.
Yeah, it seems awesome. Just a huge weekend. 4 days as opposed to 2 is just gigantic.
There's more Magic than you can handle.
Yep.
All hours of the night.
Yep, it looks like last year the Legacy Championship awarded an alternate art framed Force at Will trophy.
Players shuffling up. How do you think David Palmer is feeling going into game 2? He would have liked to win game 1, but I think he has to know that his sideboard really has game here.
Yeah, I don't think he's down and out at all. I think he's pretty happy about his sideboard choices, especially this Life's Finale. That card is just so great against
such an
ramp.
awesome card.
Yeah, against any sort of ramp deck. If you resolve that one, you probably won't be losing.
So
mill every single Primeval Titan. And if he kills a Primeval Titan with the spell itself, he gets to even remove a Wormcoil or an Elishnor, too.
Yeah. Or he can get the Thrun out, another card that he might have problems dealing with. Leaving David with, or Michael with many, many, many less ways to win that game.
Yeah, Green Sun Zenith, not that impressive when all it can get is Strangleroot, guys.
He's still going to have that Ink Moth combo, but if he also brings in Curse, and he brings in those Ghost Quarters, David certainly has a lot of ways to fight what Michael's trying to do.
Yeah, that's definitely true. He has the tools to beat Michael Dye. It's just the question of whether he can draw them in time. And yeah, after board, he gets to board out a lot of his less impressive cards. He gets to board out Dismember. He gets to board out Tragic Slip. He can board out Lingering Souls if we want to. I don't imagine we'll see him keep all 4 in.
No, probably not.
He probably needs some number, if just to put a little pressure on Michael Dye, but I expect to see 1, 2 at the absolute most, maybe even 0. It really depends what cards he thinks he needs in this matchup. If he thinks he needs Surgical, he'll be more likely to take out something like Lingering Souls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Surgical here, but, you never know.
Yeah, I can see the logic of David Palmer. So if I kill a Titan, I'll be able to strip his Titans. But at the same time, he'll only have 2 Titans left.
Right.
Not even that many.
And I think once a Titan is hit once, a lot of the damage is already done.
Right.
And I just think that, especially for David Palmer, he just can't afford to draw 2 Surgical Extractions. Oh, Brainstorm is the Legacy Challenge full art print.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That is really cool.
Now, is that an alternate art, you think, or is that
It is alternate art.
Very nice.
I'm trying to pull the art up right now.
And those things are almost invaluable, because if there's only one of them,
yeah,
how can you really assign a value to that kind of thing?
Right. Have you seen those giant Moxes and stuff?
Oh, yeah, those are awesome.
They look great.
So here the players have their opening 7. David Palmer on the play. He'll have to decide if he likes his hand. Looks like 2 lands, Liliana, Dismember, and yeah, he decides to keep. No lands that come into play untapped for him. Not yet. But there's a swamp. So 2 lands go for David Palmer. Michael Dye has no ramp. No Emissary, no Geist.
Yeah, slow start here. What is in his hand?
I don't...
Liliana of the Veil.
We'll find out.
Taken up.
Yeah, immediately goes up to 4. They'll both discard.
Now, Michael, in this situation, it gets harder and harder for him to deal with Liliana.
Yeah, Liliana is the kind of card that a ramp deck only has so many turns to beat.
Right.
It has to both get up to 6 mana and keep its threats in hand, which can be pretty tough to do.
He has a lot of 2-drops that would have been able to work with, do some work on Liliana, but not in his hand apparently.
Yeah, no 3-drop, no 2-drop. I really wonder what Michael Dye kept on the draw here.
It looks like he's got a Garrick in his hand.
Okay.
He'll be able to tick that up. The worry, of course, is that
Thrun
dies. But yeah, Thrun would immediately die to Liliana. And he is going to Beast
upkeep,
Within.
Beast Within your land. I like that play a lot. Keeps Liliana, doing her job. It'll let her make Michael Dye sack a creature, basically negating the disadvantage of Beast Within.
The question now is, how does he deal with that token? Is he going to use Liliana? Or can he use another card, tick up a Liliana, and just get her in a position where he can, use the ultimate?
That would be the best situation for sure. He would love to cast that Gideon in his hand and use it, but I don't think he has a 5th land right now.
Doesn't look like it. Oh, there's a 5th land, and there's Gideon.
Wow. So
+2. Come at me, bro.
A great draw from David Palmer and a really, really bad one from Michael Dye. And this is looking so good for David Palmer.
Liliana ticks up to 6.
Threatening her ultimate.
Red Sun Zenith on in Michael Dye's hand. Garrick Relentless.
Yeah, Michael Dye, no more lands.
No more lands, yeah. Things are looking dicey.
Oh, and he just says go. He has no play. David Palmer.
5 mana, Elspeth. Oh my god. Gideon, 1 more.
Yep.
For the road. Tick it up.
Liliana up to 7. Up. She will survive the ultimate. Elspeth makes 3 tokens. Gideon up to 7. Oh, no, Gideon attacking. He doesn't even need to tick it up to 7 here.
No, he has all those tokens. Michael Dye needs a red source.
That's not
a red
it.
source. Red
Ironically,
source
a Kessig Wolf run.
at the very least tick down at Liliana, but I think we're going to see an ultimate of Liliana this turn.
Oh, yeah. And Wolf token comes out from Garrick. But, you know, Liliana pre-combat, that's going to let Gideon just make... Oh, man, this is going to be very, very bad for Michael Dye.
Yeah, he gets to make an amazing play here.
The creatures are going to be in a different pile from the Garrick, so if Michael Dye chooses the Garrick, David Palmer will be able to attack it with Gideon. If he chooses the creatures, those won't do very much.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, no matter what happens, he gets to destroy 2 lands.
Right.
You know, I think you go 2 lands and creatures or 2 lands and Garrick.
Yeah, I think it's 2 lands creatures v 2 lands Garrick.
And he has to go with the 2 lands creatures.
Yeah. And let's see this Liliana ultimate. Oh man, another 5-mana spell. Curse of Death's Hold.
Wow.
Because why not? And Liliana just keeps ticking up.
Wow.
David Palmer thinks he doesn't need to use it yet. And you know, I can't really disagree with him. He's in such a great position that he doesn't have to ultimate when he has the chance.
It's quite true. He could tick up Gideon here and destroy those creatures and then make the Liliana split even better.
Yeah, just decides to animate Gideon, gain 4 life, bring himself up to 24, and now it looks like he'll crash in with the Gideon, attacking Garrick, probably. Yeah, you know, I think I might have just Liliana'd right there.
I think so too. I mean, you just knock him completely out of the game if he only has 2 lands.
Right. Liliana stays alive, unable to be killed by those tokens.
And there's just no good split on his end.
Right.
Tokens come in.
Wow. So,
wow.
David Palmer playing very aggressively this game.
Incredibly aggressively.
He knows that if those tokens don't block and rather counterattack the Planeswalkers, he'll just have lethal on board. So it looks like Gideon attacked Michael, the 3 tokens attacked Garrick. 1 token got blocked, dropping Garrick to 1 counter.
Now this beast probably needs to come in and hit Liliana.
Yeah, has to knock it down to 6.
Then maybe you either give it Death Touch or you sack it. Now Death Touch notably is not going to kill Gideon Jura on an attack because all damage done to him is prevented.
It seems like it should though, doesn't it?
It seems like it should, but that little detail.
I'm not sure if Gideon Jura really needed that extra line of text.
No, probably not. Probably would have made him a little more fair.
Yep. The first time I played against Gideon, I tried to double lightning bolt him.
No, it does not work out well.
No.
Well, it works if you double lightning bolt your opponent.
Sure.
Could have done that. That would have killed Gideon.
You know, that probably would have been smarter.
Probably worked better.
So,
but you have to do it before he animates it, I believe.
Right.
Because redirecting afterwards, not very impressive.
No. Solemn Simulacrum for Michael Dye, adding more permanents to the board, more fodder for Liliana.
Yep, he is trying. He's trying to keep it up.
Liliana down to 6 counters. Beast deals at 2.
Yep. You know, Michael Dye at this point, he just hopes he gets 1 more turn and an ability to resolve a Primeval Titan.
Right. Hopes David Palmer does not ultimate that Liliana next turn.
Yep.
He actually probably hoped he didn't ultimate it last turn.
I bet he did too. He's hoping every turn. And now, of course, he can set himself in a position where he ends up with 3 lands.
Right. No matter what.
No matter what, right. He can choose that pile.
And now he has to decide what he wants to do with this Garrick Relentless. He can either sack a creature, sack the Solemn to go tutor something up, or he can just make a Death Touch Wolf.
Yeah.
And I think at this point he just wants to make a wolf, get as many permanents on the board as possible.
As much as I really, really, really want to have a Primeval Titan, I think you have to just, you're right, make a wolf and just hope that somehow next turn you get the ability to sack creature and tutor a Primeval Titan with 1 more land.
Right.
It's not likely, but, you know, stranger things have happened.
So, yep, Garrick ticks up to 2. He'll get a Death Touch Wolf, which will, of course, die to the Curse of Death's Hold. And Liliana Ultimates.
How do we split this? It's like permanents or lands, maybe?
I'm not sure what David Palmer just did. It might be Wolfrun Solemn Creature.
Yeah, I think it was I think it was Wolfrun and all his creatures or 4 lands.
Right, it might be top row versus bottom row.
Right. And lands, I think, is the right play here. It's not good.
No, it's not.
But I mean,
what else?
It's better than having nothing in play. I mean, there's no way he's going to win with 1 land in play.
Right. I don't think there's actually any way he can win.
Either way.
Either way.
That's a minor detail.
These creatures will drop him to 6, and even if Michael Dye untaps and casts Day of Judgment here, he'll still lose to that Gideon. Yeah, he says, yeah, I have to keep the lands. Puts the Planeswalker in the graveyard, Beast, those in the graveyard, left with Mountain, Forest, Plains, Razor Verge, and Sorin. Look at all these Planeswalkers.
Oh, Emblem.
Emblem, come at you.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Michael Dye needs a Karn reset the game ability right now.
He needs to play several of his own gambits.
Yes.
Sneak in Karn, play some free gambits, reset the game.
See, Right of Flame, Right of Flame, Right of Flame, time out. Michael Dye scoops him up.
Yeah, that's real realistic.
Yep.
There we go. Game 3.
Yeah, game 3 of the finals. This is the last game of our Standard Open.
All right. David Palmer
takes that down in convincing fashion. I think he taught Michael Dye a lesson or two about mulliganing there. If Michael Dye had just had a reasonable draw, that game would not have been a blowout.
No, it would not have been. He just couldn't get anything on play. No ramp really, not enough lands. I don't know what he had.
Right.
Yeah,
his first play was turn 4. Turn 4 Garruk Relentless. And really against a deck that can just go over the top of Garruk Relentless so easily, that just doesn't do very much.
Yeah, and MTG Hipster says he has to have the combat damage ability, otherwise he loses counters or takes damage in combat.
Right.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I think Gideon's really good, and I wouldn't mind if he lost some counters in combat.
Yeah, Gideon's not too good right now, but that's just because of how the standard format is shaping up. He used to be so backbreaking.
He was just miserable to play against. If you played an aggro deck, there was that time period where there was no O-ring in the format.
Right.
And so if you played an aggro deck, he just was 2 time walks.
Yeah, exactly. More than that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes he was just like, well, I'm going to gain, 15 life,
right.
And you can't win for 2 turns. And if I have a Day of Judgment, well, then it's going to be like 4 turns.
Exactly. It's like a split card. I win the game on the spot, or gain 15 life.
And he so rarely attacks when your opponent really has a lot of creatures out anyway.
Right.
That I would be perfectly fine with if you could just block up Gideon and kill him.
That would be cool.
Great.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I think actually I do remember Aaron Forsythe saying they wish they toned back the power level of Gideon just a little bit.
Yeah.
Not too much.
I think originally the idea was he would have power and toughness equal to the number of counters on him.
Okay. Did that not fit on the card maybe?
It doesn't fit on the card.
Yeah. That card already has
actually might have been better than it is right now, possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
But the idea was that you couldn't have Gideon at 2 counters and then keep a sacking for 6. All right, and they're shuffling. Michael Dye probably, really considering what happened last game. Thought about what the hand he kept. Should have mulligan. Knows a little bit more about how David Palmer's deck plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, if a deck like his, you read it out in the deck list, and it's not necessarily the same thing as actually seeing it play out.
Right. The deck looks like molasses. It looks so slow, but really these planeswalkers just build upon each other. Once you get 2-3 planeswalkers in play, it's so hard for an opponent to come back to attack all of them effectively. Sean Piccone says on Twitter, Gideon is amazing right now. He's okay. I wouldn't call him amazing.
Yeah, there are just some problem cards from the fact that O-Ring is back. O-Ring really does hurt Gideon quite a bit. He's one of the 2 planeswalkers that when you play it and do his plus and then pass, he doesn't really actually gain you anything.
Right.
The opponent actually has to attack before it gains anything. And on the attack, the fact that Vapor Snag is so big.
Exactly. Vapor Snag is really tough for him.
Right. Is actually a really relevant card.
So Michael Dye, again with no 2-drop, kept his 7, but nothing on 2. No Emissary, no Geist.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think you almost need to have something.
Right.
That is going to go get probably a Geist. Could possibly also get a Emissary.
Yeah, it all depends if he thinks he needs mana now or he thinks he needs to beat down now. And it turns out he needs mana.
Yep, it's the Emissary. He is looking to prime time this game.
Yep, that's also great Liliana insurance.
Right. So is Geist, though.
Yes.
Though he may have another another way to go get Geist.
So Woodland Cemetery, go for David Palmer. No Liliana this game. If he did have it, he would probably just play it and pick it up. But he doesn't. And he will pass. Do you think this will be the Life's finale game? Could we possibly see it?
That would be nice. I do want to see that card resolve.
Plains for Michael Dye, up to 4 mana.
Oh. Solemn Simulacrum gets up to 5 lands.
Yep, he's ramping. And swings for 2.
He probably has just enough pressure that he doesn't have to play a whole lot more, and its ball is totally in David Palmer's court. Now, David Palmer does have a Sorin and a Garruk.
Yeah, he has either Planeswalker available to him.
And the problem is neither one of those creatures is especially fun to kill.
No, not really.
You know, he can make a token here.
Yep, I think that's what we'll see him do. Wolf will come out.
Wolf come out. That will block something, but Michael Dye, up to 6 mana, getting into the danger zone.
Yeah, he is. And what's really nice about that Wolf token is the fact that Garruk is still on 3. So if Michael Dye attacks it with both his creatures, it'll go to 1. It'll flip over. It'll be able to use the Death Touch Wolf ability. And that'll be very good for him.
That will be very good.
Garruk Veil Curse -1. Not very good in David Palmer's deck.
Not so impressive. And it looks like Michael Dye might have a Gideon in his hand.
Wow. The one of Gideon Jura. That would be really good right now.
Survives Wrath of God. Forces, you know, if he ever has creatures, it forces it to attack.
So David Palmer
And
blocks the Emissary.
Is dead. Gideon flips, or Garruk flips. Next turn, he will be making Death Touch Wolves.
So Viridian Emissary fetches up a forest. And we'll see what Michael Dye can add to the board. He can still play a 6 land, so if he has Land Titan, he can cast it.
Or, you know, just land Gideon. That's a perfectly fine play.
Oh, yeah. And it looks like that's what it is.
Yep.
Land Gideon. Gideon goes up to 8.
How important is the fact that Tragic's so big in Gideon's quality? Another spell that pretty easily kills him if he attacks a creature form.
Yeah, it does. And David Palmer draws his own Gideon, so he can Legend Rule that if he wants to.
That would not be bad. You know, take that the Garruk up.
Yeah, I think he has to. He's looking at the Sorin, but that's a risky play.
It is a little risky.
By playing the Sorin, David Palmer is basically saying, okay, I'm going to kill this Gideon before I play my own Gideon, which is tough to do.
Well, I mean, he can always just play the Sorin, take it up, and then next turn play his own Gideon also.
Right.
You know, it just depends what his priorities are. And that's what it looks like he's going to do.
Yeah, Sorin, make a vampire.
More tokens. He is just mono blocks.
The token master. Watch out, Brian Kibler.
1 wolf, 1 vampire.
And says go to Michael Dye. Now, we know Michael Dye's hand is not that impressive, but David Palmer is sweating this turn. Oh, and there's
a prime time.
There's a Titan just in time. And we'll see how Michael Dye plays this Gideon here.
Yep, he has to think, do I attack with the Primeval Titan, or do I not?
So Primeval Titan will come into play this turn. It'll fetch up Nexus and Wolf Run. And you know, he might just hold off on attacking with that Gideon because of Wolf Run.
I can see that. Yep, he ticked it up.
6 mana.
Out comes Primeval.
Big Daddy Primetime comes to play.
He does open himself up a little bit to Wrath of God.
Yes.
His Day of Judgment, which I am going to forever refer to as Wrath of God. You know, because Gideon doesn't die, but he gets to make 2 tokens a turn.
Yeah, he does, and that holds Gideon at bay forever. Except for, of course, that one little land, that pesky little Kessigwolfron.
Unfortunate that he has no creatures to search with Garrick's other ability.
Yeah.
Also, as cannot overrun for anything.
Right.
With his third ability.
Oh, so a second Ghost Quarter for David Palmer. So he has both of his answers to both of Michael Dye's Kessigwolfrons.
Oh, it looks like he has a...
Wow, he has a Day of Judgment too.
Here.
So David Palmer just with perfect opportunity to take advantage of his Planeswalkers here. Kill both Wolfrons. Day of Judgment.
Looks like the Vampire dies. Gideon goes down by 1.
Yep.
Oh, and he's just making tokens.
No Day of Judgment. Just had to attack Gideon. And if you're David Palmer here, yeah, I think you have to blow those up right now to keep your Planeswalkers alive. And Michael Dye out of Kessigwolfrons. So he will never be able to give that Gideon trample, never be able to give that Solemn trample.
He sure can give, Primeval already has trample.
Yeah, it does.
He's going to get a lot more lands, but you're right, they're just going to have the Ink Moths.
Yep. Inkmoth is the only utility land left, save for Ghost Quarter, which doesn't do much.
He can still win with poison. It's going to be the long route, though.
Right. Yeah, this is shaping up to be a really interesting game because that Death Touch Wolf will take out the Primeval Titan. Sorin will die in the meantime. David Palmer will then be able to Legend Rule the Gideon and will almost be at parity. Garrick the Veil Curse
will make one more token this turn, right? He attacked with 2 tokens.
One got blocked, yeah. So Michael Dye, all the mana in the world, has to decide how best to use it.
Yeah, he just doesn't have a hole to use it on.
No. So the Primeval Titan has to come at Sorin this turn.
Right.
It has to.
Right.
Gideon has to come at Sorin this turn. The question is if Solemn Simulacrum stays back or attacks. I think it'll be attacking this Garrick here.
I think that sounds good. I like that play.
I think the right attack is Gideon at anything. Well, actually, we know that David Palmer has a Gideon of his own. Michael Dye doesn't, so Gideon actually might not come in. We'll see about that one. The right attack is either Primeval Titan and Solemn at the Sorin, or all 3 attacking Solemn, Garrick, and the other 2 at Sorin. Although I see Michael Dye holding a Mirren Watermark card. Not sure what that one is.
Probably a Green Sun Zenith. It says Michael has Wrath in his hand.
Huh. I didn't see that one in his hand.
Not a card I would keep on in this matchup, but Death Touch token is blocking Primeval Titan.
Really hard to imagine that he wouldn't have cast a Day of Judgment there if he had it.
No, not David. Michael has.
Oh, Michael does. I see. Yeah, that card seems very bad in this matchup. So Sorin goes down, takes the Primeval Titan with it, though.
And I believe Michael can just, if he wants, cast the Green Sun Zenith, get yet another Primeval Titan.
Wow.
He's thinking about that. Maybe he has 2. That foil card definitely has a thick watermark, but I can't tell if it's Green Sun Zenith or not. I imagine that it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what other cards in Michael Dye's deck have that watermark. Green Sun Zenith is a Phyrexian watermark.
It is Phyrexian watermark. So I think that is what that is.
No, I have no idea what that is. But we will find out.
Soon enough.
Green Sun X equals 6. So David Palmer would love to draw
I guess it could be a Viridian Emissary that has the watermark.
Oh, I think that's probably
it's
what
weird.
is.
Yeah, it's weird because you can see it's a very clear watermark and a very dark green card.
Right.
But that's it.
Primeval Titan will fetch up the other 2 Ink Moths, and David Palmer is running out of time. Oh, Ink Moth Ghost Quarter, it looks like.
Yep, he only plays 3 Ink Moths.
Oh, I see.
Obviously, if David could have 1 card here, it'd be Curse.
Yep. Would love a Curse.
Curse would be good. But he is Legend ruling Gideon.
Yep, that's one more step in what David Palmer needs to do to win this game. He has to go through a lot of steps here. He has to play a Curse at some point. He has to kill that Primeval Titan at some point. But
I mean, this is an attrition matchup, and Michael Dye is getting lower and lower on threats.
Right. He's through one of his Primeval Titans already. The Death Touch Wolf will take care of another one.
And this is his second Primeval Titan.
Second of 3. Yeah.
Right. So he's getting low.
And if David can resolve a Curse at some point, that'll take care of all 3 Inkmoth Nexus.
Someone says, is it a Thrun? I believe Thrun has the Mirren watermark, not the Phyrexian watermark.
Yeah, I think so too.
And he does definitely have a full art foil day.
There's something to be said, though, for Michael Dye. He has thinned so many lands out of his deck that he will be drawing a far greater threat density than
he
David
might
Palmer.
be able to red Zenith's Mount.
Eventually.
If it comes to that.
Yeah.
Now, if he draws an Elesh Norn, if he has an Elesh Norn at any point right here, things are going to get real rough. But it looks like he's just coming in with some Nexi.
Yep. Those will come in. Looks like the Titan will, too. 1 Nexus. Okay, there we go.
2 Nexus, 3 Nexus.
3 Nexus.
I'm sure the Death Touch Wolf is blocking that Titan once again.
Yep. David Palmer will take 5 trample damage and 3 poison this turn. Primeval Titan will fetch up some non-utility lands, just some mana producers. Make sure Michael Dye does not draw those Razor Verge Thickets or Copperline Gorges. And Garrick down. So it looks like Michael Dye did attack the Garrick rather than David Palmer's life total directly.
Someone's saying it's Beast Within. That would make sense.
I feel like that one might have the Phyrexian watermark, though.
Right, but the card I thought in his hand has the Phyrexian watermark.
Oh, I thought it had a Mirren.
Oh, it is a Mirren. It is Thrun.
Thrun.
I was thinking that was a Phyrexian watermark. Okay, well.
Thrun the Last Troll is a pretty hard card for David Palmer to deal with as well.
It is, and earlier in the game it's not a big deal, but at this point, and he extends the hand.
That's the hand?
Yeah.
I thought if David Palmer drew a Curse right there, he could have still taken that one down.
No.
But Michael Dye, standard open winner. Congratulations.
Green-White Wolf Run.
Green-White Wolf Run, a deck we haven't seen much of recently, just breaks out in a big way here.
Yeah, I love this list.
This is an awesome deck. I would like to see the 4th Primeval, but other than that, it's